Hey, everybody. We'll give the class a minute to join us. But, Satish and I will be taking questions and hopefully giving you answers for the next hour. I have no idea what's going on in CS7 right now, but oh my goodness. So, Satish, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
I'm thinking maybe it would probably be a good place to start to just see if there are other people having these install and setup issues. Maybe try and knock those out first.
Yep.
Okay.
We just mute everybody.
Oh, and let me see if I can make you a co-host.
Hey, Patrick, is this where I'm supposed to be?
Hey, Big Tony. Yeah, just giving the class a minute to get in here. But yeah, Satish and I will be doing a Q&A session. Currently only got 35 people. I know there's more than that. So
Couple minutes.
yeah, let's give things a minute here. Add panel again here.
Patrick, did they post the video from this morning yet or no?
I can only suggest you just go to Piazza and see if it's up there.
Okay.
Luis was up looking at, and he is busy with staff right now doing some stuff. So I don't know off the top of my head. But if you go there and see that it's up there, that'd be great if you could let me know.
Yeah, it's not up yet.
No, it's not? Okay. Alrighty, well, we've got 36 people here, 5 after the hour. So why don't we maybe just get started with some basic setup stuff. I know a bunch of people, we've been helping out getting things set up on Windows systems, and just wondering if there are other people out there that are having that problem too. Be happy to go over that stuff. Bueller?
Patrick, maybe mute everybody.
Oh, right. Sorry, I am the. Okay. So everyone's unmuted. You should be able to join in and speak up if you want, though. So let me just post in here.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I finally got this thing working, and I got my Create Friends app done. At this point, nothing is showing up. There's no web page. There's no nothing. So my only option at this point is to just go into HTTP Ajax and cd into the friends folder and do an npm start.
Yep, that would be the start. Do you have your server up and running? Because that's where you're fetching the data from using the Axios or the HTTP.
Yes, my server is listing on port 5000, so that's good. But
Yep.
on the second terminal that I started when I did the Create Friends app, it did nothing. So at this point, I guess I'm just
Yeah, it wouldn't do anything. It'll just give you a base, and it'll just install all the packages to start developing the React app. So if you just do npm start, it should show you that React image and some text below saying that start editing this to do something like that.
Okay, awesome, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks for the suggestion, Aaron. yeah, it's looking like everyone that's been having install issues with Windows, I haven't heard from anyone. So I suppose we can just open the floor. It's Satish's birthday? Oh, I was going to have everybody sing happy birthday to you.
No, that was just my friend's birthday. So
Oh, is that? Oh, I see in the background. Yes. Well, happy friend's birthday, Satish. Oh, good. Ashley, are you in this meeting? Yes, it looks like you are. Glad to see that you've got things working. And yes, Roy, nice to have friends.
Hey, quick question, guys. So I get the blank React app thing with the spinning atom-looking logo.
Yep.
Shouldn't I be getting Lambda friends instead?
No, your task is to
Hook it up.
display,
Okay.
display
All right,
the
fair
friends.
enough. Let me run with it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that boilerplate code that comes when you do the Create React App installation, you will get very familiar with that. I do encourage you to explore the different files that get installed when you run Create React App. There are some interesting things going in there, in the public folder and in the source folder. But yeah, no need to hold on to that stuff, most of it. Although, who doesn't love a spinning React logo? Huh? Am I right? Am I right?
All right, we have questions.
Okay. Why broken a server? Like stuff to run in there. If it's all right, Satish, I think maybe we should do the install issue that, oh, you're not having install issues, Richard. Gotcha. Yes, Richard, this is totally optional, especially if you're working with a pair programming partner and you want to, take off and running and you guys are in the zone. Your attendance is always encouraged, but not mandatory. So
Okay, I see. I'm stuck on where we write the form and place the add friend button. Okay. Let me see. I mean, do we like make a form? I just thought we have to display the list, which we get from the server. Like,
Step 3 is to be able to add a new friend to the list and post it in the server data.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so that's where I'm struggling, and I imagine some others are struggling because that's completely new. My question was, do we need to use a lifecycle hook with posting, or is that just going to be included in the data, or maybe we've got to write another method?
So I'm not too much. I haven't read too much docs about the sprint. So what I say is you have to use the axios.post method. Make sure you take the information through the form and make sure you go to the particular link using the axios.post method, and then see how you save the data to the server. Yeah, I got it now. Yep, we need to use the post method as of now.
And your question, Aaron, about whether or not to use the lifecycle methods, try it without them. If it doesn't work, maybe you do need them. You are a computer scientist. Get your laptop.
I misunderstood that this was a question and answer session, not a question and question session.
Oh, well, I take a broad definition of the term answer. So I just meant to address your question. So that's the A in Q&A. But yeah, likewise, I'm reading the README, and doesn't look like we're getting into life cycle methods. And again, Luis, I'd like you said in this morning, you know, this is a kind of just to sort of ease you into the world of AJAX and HTTP requests, and you know, with all the onslaught of React stuff that you guys jumped into last week, you know, just to kind of get introduced to these concepts, because you will, in the coming weeks, especially when you get into serving up databases, you will be making prodigious use of HTTP request methods, promises, all that kind of fun stuff. So this is just to get your your feet wet, maybe dunk your head in a little bit, but I don't think we're getting into life cycle methods with this. Even in the stretch problems, separate this from new and diff components. Yeah, that would just be working with modular stuff. So, oh, thank you, Daniel, for posting that link to docs about forums. Who doesn't love reading docs? Let's see.
So would it be jumping the gun to kind of show you where we were getting started on that and see if we're heading in the right direction, or?
I don't know. Your call, Satish. Do we want to have people show off their code, or?
Maybe if it's not a giveaway as a solution to the others. How far are you, Aaron? Like, are you like displaying all the data from the server, and now you want to add friend to the server?
Okay, so yeah, we've rendered the friends list, and I've written a form that also renders. I'm now at the point where I'm trying to figure out where to put the post method and all that. What I'm trying so far, what I'm trying right now is to console. I don't know. We were trying to console log something, but I don't know. We were putting the post and then and catch inside, or axios.post.then.catch inside the action part of form, and trying to see if that's going to help us solve this. And we tried to do a console log within the .then, and we didn't get a console log, but that's maybe because I didn't try to post anything. So maybe it's not going to console until I do that. Okay. Never mind. I mean, I don't even know if that's even the right direction, but that's what Sergey and I were working on.
I'm just loading up my project right now. You guys still have Ben, Austin, Ryan, Sean, and Michelle as friends? Okay, I'm just going to show you what I did when I was a student. Let me pull this up. You guys will probably get a kick out of this. Okay, look at that. Little friends picture. Who doesn't love friends?
Cute.
So yeah, what I did is I just made a div, little prompts for putting in a name. Like let's say Aaron. Aaron is now my friend. Aaron is 27. Aaron is
Ah,
Aaron at Aaron dot Aaron, and oh yeah, submit your so-called friends info. So we can see I've got Ben, Austin, Ryan, Sean, and Michelle, and so I'm going to submit this. Ken has friends. It just reloaded the list, and oh, look, there's my 27-year-old friend Aaron, who I can reach at aaron.aaron any day of the week. So something else I want to point out to you. Look at the little spinning lambda. Hey. Pretty cool. Can I get a thumbs up for people who love that and want more? Awesome. Thank you, my friend, 27-year-old friend Aaron. So I hope that helps. Sometimes just visualizing what you're going for can be useful, but that's the functionality that you're looking for. However you see fit, however you want to style it. If you don't want to do styling at all, if you're sick of CSS and less, fine. Just try and get your page to that point. I think you guys have worked with placeholder text and fields so far, and now to better address and answer your question, Aaron, I'm going to look in my code, and I don't think I used any lifecycle method action, but oh my God, I've got in my source folder. Oh, what's that, Satish?
Sorry, I mean, I thought he meant like post, like axios.post something, Aaron? That's what you meant? You're supposed to use axios.post as of I know course to post to the, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and we're doing that. I mean, what I'm trying to understand or trying to figure out with that, I'm trying to figure out without reading any documentation if possible. I'm just kidding. Is like where to put the axios.post.then and .catch in my code. So that's what I'm working on trying to figure out. So anyway, so if you want to tell me how to do my homework, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm just kidding.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
Well, like what I said was in my form tag under action, we were trying to put in some JSX that included that axios.post stuff. Am I heading in the right direction? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are heading in the right direction. You do want to use Axios to, get the friends list, and then also to, post to the friends list is another Axios thing that you could do to add the friend. That would be a post on wherever you have import Axios from Axios in your component. You would be doing a Axios.get to retrieve stuff from the server, and an Axios.post to put it up there. I would show you I might as well show you my code, quite frankly. When we did this, we did it in Redux. They were already beating us over the head with Redux at this point, which is why they're waiting to beat you guys over the head with it. So I've got a very different architecture to my project and different things going on, but it is, yes, using Axios and kind of wherever you see fit. Some people, one strategy for these things, instead of building classes, that might be the easiest way to do it. But you don't have to work in modular scripts. Yes, sir.
This is Wesley. I came in late. I just got in, but I guess my question is, they're trying to use post as a stretch problem, or is that?
No, that's part of the main problem.
Yeah, to make the form to add friends to the list.
So would we have a form that takes in data, like, you know, an event handler kind of thing, and then you use .get to get that information and put it on the server, and then you do .post to but I was just thinking you would only use .post, right?
Close. Let me answer Wesley's question first here.
Okay, I see it now, but I didn't think the post would work because the server doesn't have a database.
Well, the server is serving up the object at HTTP 5000/friends. So you want to get from that.
You get from that, but when you post it, is it going to update anything?
Not at friends. In my solution, I made a post to localhost 5000/new friend and worked off of that.
Right. So then are we putting post inside the main render function, or would we put it inside of component did mount? I would think you'd put it inside the main render function.
Well, first, I'm sorry, for posting to a new friend, you mean?
Yeah, so like inside the main render function, you have your form, and still below that, but still inside the render function, you would have the .post.
Well, in the client side, yeah, but you also on the server side have to build the route for the new friend data.
So we need to be editing, at minimum, we need to be editing app.js and server.js.
Yeah, I think in the lecture, Luis went over with you guys the app.get, and I think he had like something with a timeout or something for 500 milliseconds. But yes.
Yeah,
So
but he told us to ignore him when he was doing that.
Oh, well, then, you know.
The server has a post now, and he's just keeping it in an array, so it'll update for the session, and then when the browser, it'll just delete, so it's not going to stay there. But that post is already in the server.
Hold on, let me mute everybody here. Sorry, Wesley, do you want to turn your mic back on? Somebody was...
Yeah, they changed this project since we did it, so that's why I was kind of confused. But they have a post in the server at this point. So if you send your Axios post to friends, it will get it and then update an array, and so that array will be on the server, and then you can get it again later.
Ah, hey, look at that.
Okay, yeah, I see that now. Actually, line 58. It's I guess it's, you know, taking the information, putting into a const or whatever, and then adding it to the array like we learned to do last week.
Yes.
So to answer Aaron's question, it's a little bit different than the get because you don't have the asynchronous thing to worry about. You can just send it anywhere you have it, and it'll get to the server.
Oh, Aaron, if you could turn your mic back on.
So now, yeah. So now I'm just now all I got to do is read that server.js file and understand the function and try to respond appropriately with that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it fresh now too.
Yeah, I'm having trouble finding good documentation for these functions. Do you have a good link for us?
Patrick, we didn't go over how to send a post, I don't think, in the lecture because it has a special syntax.
Yeah, we didn't. He specifically said actually that people who still couldn't figure it out would get that in the next chat.
Well, Luis is unavailable.
Is it due today or tomorrow?
It was due today. He said that everyone should be able to get up to the post part, and people who couldn't figure out past that, he would cover it during the Q&A that he did.
So Patrick, you're up.
The way I'm thinking, like I'd be happy just to be able to read documentation on it. It's just hard to find, I guess. But I'm thinking that the post function is going to go inside the main render function, and then I guess the server side's already taken care of.
Yeah, I'm just comparing it against, and again, we did things a little differently when we hit them. Oh gosh, yeah, we did things very differently. We were using Redux. So sorry, Eric. I wish I had a better direction to send you in.
It's cool. I'm used to this.
Yes, and this is good practice for the real world too, because most people are just winging it to get their clients what they need. There's always new tech coming out. I presume you already looked at the NPM, did a Google search for NPM Axios. I think GitHub Axios/Axios has their README. In fact, let me share my screen and we can pull that up. GitHub.com/Axios/Axios. I can almost spell today. There we go.
Yeah, I looked up NPM Axios.
Did you look at this GitHub page? Because there is some maybe it's.
I found an example that they can use.
Oh, great! Please let me stop sharing my screen.
Well, it's on npmjs.com, and then package, and then Axios.
Do you want to drop that into CS7?
Yeah, that's where I got to. I can drop it in.
Let me ask you this, Eric. I mean, do you kind of have your head space though wrapped around? I mean, it sounds like you got the flow of dealing with server side things that serve stuff up and a client.
You know, I feel like I have no idea how to do this, but I might understand how to do this. So like in pieces, I'm thinking we just need some kind of event handler. You need like a form or whatever that needs to take in data, save it somehow. Then that needs to somehow be handled by Axios.post, which I think needs to be in their main render function of class app. And then I think everything else is already going to be taken care of by our component did mount and our server side code and stuff that's already in there. That's what's going through my head.
Yes.
Although I don't know how to use Axios.post, so I need to try to piece that together.
Yeah, just to add that maybe Axios.post is expecting the information in the form of an object. So just make sure that you pass in the information in the form of an object.
Yeah, I have some fake syntax here that I grabbed from something like that.
Yeah.
I'll post in the fake syntax that I have. I mean, it's not fake, but you know. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Wesley has it in. That's what I grabbed.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. See, like how the first and last name is in the form of an object.
Yeah. So when we're calling a function in render, does it need to be in curly braces?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Okay, would somebody like to answer that question? Because I'm not sure.
And
Yeah.
Wesley, if you want to check the CS7 staff channel, just drop something that Luis gave me that might help you guys.
Yeah, so Ronnie says that if it's in the return, it does need to be in curly braces.
Hey, maybe I missed this piece, but would one of you guys walk me through the logic one more time?
The logic of what? Maybe you want to share your screen and show us what you're looking at?
I haven't even started yet. I just finished the install thing, as you know. So I'm just trying to figure out the logic of what we're trying to do, what I'm connecting to what, and I kind of am looking over the code that he did this morning, and he does pretty much everything in the component did mount function, I guess. So I'm just trying to get a sense of whether that's the way I want to go forward, or if there's something else. You know what? Let me go back and read some more documentation, and I'll ask you this question again.
Okay, but just to make sure, and this is for everybody, just that there's the very high-level view of you've got a server that is serving up the list of friends, and then you've got your client side. And the server is based off of the server.js file that's at the parent level of the project. And then you've got your friends subfolder, and inside of that is the code for the Create React App web application. And so exactly, just like you described it, using the React methods and architecture, you're trying to tell React how to get the friends list and then how to add to that friends list.
So then this might sound stupid, but
No,
I'm installing Axios on the client side, not on the server, correct? I'm installing Axios only on the client side, not on the server?
yes, yeah, you will be using Axios on the client side.
Okay, fair enough, thank you.
So as a, I guess a hint for the post, when you get to that point, you'll be creating new file that will handle a form. And then when the form is submitted, you'll hit you'll create a function very much like the mouse events that he was doing last week. And the mouse event, and that, I think the JavaScript is like on submit or something like that. And when you hit the form, that on submit will be triggered, and then you can have a function that will call the server with the post, if that makes sense. It's very much like you were doing with the mouse things.
Do you guys want me to post some kind of an example of what he was just talking about, or should I not?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not a direct solution, if it's an example.
I mean, it's from a different assignment we did in the past.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sharing is caring.
So that's an example, and this .select friend is calling a function. Select friend is a function. That's just an example of one of the things I was using for. I don't know if that's what we want, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is how you do. You go with what you know and try it out and think about it. Think about what it's doing, how it works in with your code. Try it out. If it doesn't work, but building on the stuff that you've done before. That's how I get her done. And also, I know some people did miss this morning's lecture. I still don't know if it's up, but if you were not able to attend the walkthrough with Luis for the HTTP mini sprint, and if you're stuck at this point of implementing the or posting the new stuff, not a bad idea to go revisit that older project from this morning, the mini sprint, if you haven't finished up with that. Well, as much as I love these long silences, we've got a bunch of people in here.
I think people zone out editing their code and forget.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I just wanted to say, if anyone has any questions, feel free to speak up on the mic. Otherwise, we still got 2 hours, 20 minutes left in the day. Strongly encourage people to work with partners. I know we did the breakout rooms, but we're all adults here. If you guys are in pairs, you are more than capable of starting up Zoom meetings, chatting on Slack.
Patrick, can I jump in?
Yes, please. Oh, yeah. Looks like someone has a
Eileen just posted something, and a lot of people are running into this, and it's really because you've already got something running on the server, and you're trying to start the server a second time. That's what that first line, EADDR in use, it means error address in use, and it's talking about the port. And so all you have to do is stop the server and then restart it. So a lot of people are getting this error, and it's just stopping the server that's running and then starting it. That makes sense?
Yeah, very, very common. Happens all the time, especially when you're jumping around projects and you got consoles and text editors and consoles and your app, and very easy to do. But yeah, Eileen, I think you're on Windows. I forget off the top of my head how to look for processes and kill them, but see which consoles you have open that things might be running in. Maybe, or you use Vim, so maybe not in your text editor. For Mac users out there, if you haven't found it yet, there is the Activity Monitor, which you can find through Spotlight by Command Spacebar. Just type in Activity Monitor, and that will give you a list of all the processes you have going. It's one easy way to kill things if you can't find the actual console that you invoked it in. Yeah, Ashley, if you know how to fix that, let us know. Sharing is caring.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
have
very
that
good
problem
point,
a lot,
Wesley.
so I know I can tell her how to fix it if she wants to share her screen.
Yeah, Eileen, are you in a position where you can share your screen?
Yeah.
Whoa. Trippin'.
I heard that 7 times.
That was not Eileen saying, yeah, 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 yeah. And thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that.
Not a problem. I had this problem a lot on Mac So I had to find out how to do it on Windows because I have a Windows computer now.
Nice.
So in your terminal, first you want to find, I might be using the wrong terminology, but you want to find out which ports are in use. So you would do, I'll copy and paste the command, but you want to do a netstat command.
Power.
It's usually port 3000 if you're using 3000.
That's what I was using.
Otherwise, change 3000 to whatever you're using.
Yeah.
Oh, so you put the colon, you want to put it right before the 3000.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well.
The reason that's not bringing anything back is because there's probably nothing running on port 3000. But Eileen, if you look to your left, you'll see that the server is listening on port 5000.
Yeah.
And that, in that console, you are in users Eileen HTTP Ajax. And if you look at the console on the right, you are in the same directory. So if you want to CD into your friends directory and then try npm start, that should bring up your client on localhost 3000. So on the parent level, we're doing the server, and then within the friends directory that we made with Create React App, that's going to be where we run our client from.
Mm.
And it should hot load into your browser. I'm going to wave my hand across the screen and snap my fingers to get it running. Come on. But that's awesome, Ashley. The netstat command. That's a good, good Windows voodoo to know. Or I guess that's Linux based. Right?
Sorry. So to answer Aaron's question, you'll probably say this in the earlier classes more, but as of now, rec means the request and res means the response you're getting. So yeah, when you make an Axios post or Axios get, what you do is you send the request form, HTTP request and response form. So whatever you send or whatever you submit in the form will be in the rec object. So rec and response are the giant objects which are storing all the data.
Well, at least I figured out why it doesn't work.
Yeah, now you can move on to reading that error message and trying to decipher what it's telling you, which is not always so easy.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I know what happened.
Good, then go fix it and make it awesome.
I have a question. Are we putting data into the component or storing it somewhere else?
Well, the idea right off the bat is that you're able to get the list of friends from the server, similar to what we did this morning in the mini sprint.
Okay.
And then once you've got that functionality, then to try and get it so that you can add a name to that form as well. Got it. So that was your comment earlier about some data being pre-populated on the server. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm eating a bit of apple. If you look in the parent level, there is the server.js file. Right. In that, you should see, let me make sure I'm looking at the right one here. But in that, you should see a variable, let friends equal, and then it's an array full of objects that have names and IDs and ages and emails in them.
Got it.
So on that parent level, if in your console you run npm, that will launch the server, and you can even go on your web page to localhost 5000/friends, and then it will display that object of data for you. And then we're trying to get the Create React app that we've made to also be able to access that data and then add stuff to it.
So Patrick, question, that is what is actually throwing me off. So when I do the localhost 5000 and look at just the server.js entries on it, all that is doing is showing me what's in the database, so to speak, on a web page which is locally stored. So I don't have to do a GET request to get stuff from that into.
Well, why don't you share your screen? It might be a little easier to.
Patrick, just a quick question. Tony?
Yeah, let's, sure. What's up, Tony?
I don't know what friends list is. I was trying to look for it because it
Okay.
wasn't.
Just like I just said to David, in the top of the project level for the HTTP Ajax project,
Right, okay.
there should be a file called server.js. And on line 12 of that, there's a variable declared friends, and that is where the dummy data is.
I see server, mine's on the bottom actually, I don't know why. But all right, so I see server.js and I'm in there, I see the dummy data there, but when he was doing the lecture this afternoon, he mentioned friends on the list. I don't have a friends.list.js and a node.md.
Okay, well, let me finish with Puneet.
Yeah, sure, sorry.
And then we'll get to that, because what you're asking about with the friends.list and stuff, I think that's how you're accessing the data in the client side of things. But just so long as you've got the friends starting on line 12 of server.js, you should be able to serve that data up to localhost 5000/friends.
Okay.
So, Puneet.
Yeah. So I guess my question is this. So if you can see my screen, I've got the server.js on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Right? And the
Tony,
thing that I'm
that
working on the left.
exactly what you're looking for the server. In your terminal there, in your editor, Puneet, can you, module not found, failed to compile, you've got two shells open.
Before I do
the server and one of them the client?
Patrick, before you even get to solving the issue, because this debug, my code is not done, that's why it's showing up, I had a more fundamental question for you. So
sure, what's up?
When I do the server 5000 and when I do the localhost 5000 and look at it on a browser inside my computer, I'm seeing this information, that is the server.js information, correct?
You should be, yes. Do you want to share your browser and show us that? Because all your browser is doing basically is saying, when you put in the words http://localhost/5000/friends, it's saying, okay, so you see how it says cannot get? That's for the root level. Yeah, and now what your browser is doing is saying out to the world, hey, I want to get whatever's there and then display it in my browser. So that's why it just is that object of an array with the square braces on the outside, full of objects, comma in between all the objects, and each object containing ID, name, age, and email. Does that?
Right, yeah. So my question then is, I understand what it's doing thus far, right? I guess I'm thrown off by the fact that I'm seeing this in a browser. My question is it really as simple as me going and grabbing this data and saying, hey, import friends from server.js so that I have all the data? Or do I have to make a GET request from this website, even if it's local, get it into my, whatever function here, and then post it to another website?
So, I mean, it's just static data, right? That's why, it's tripping you off. But usually this whole thing will be stored in the database. And then what you do is you write the server, and then the server will try to access the database. You write the server code where you access, where you take the request, and then try to access the database and then write and read off the database. It's just tripping you off because you can just see this in the browser, right?
So
This is just
that's
some
what's
just
tripping me up, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Easy enough. Thank
some
you.
just static data, which is showing up so that you can understand what's happening.
Okay. That makes sense. All right, cool. Thank you.
Punit, if I could say one thing, if
Yeah,
you
go for it.
your server.js on your in your editor,
Yeah,
and you go down a little bit,
yeah,
and you go to the get, and then it's line 54,
yeah.
and so that's saying when the server receives a get request, it's going to send back the friends, and that's on 55. So that's what's happening.
Oh, I see what you mean. So I do
You're
have to
asking
use
for whatever's at friends, and the server is saying this is what I'm going to give you, and it's giving you a JSON file of friends, which is an array.
so I do have to use a get request. All right, but in this fashion. All right, I get it now. That makes more sense. So
Pretty awesome.
Sorry?
Kind of awesome, yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. So is
You guys write your own servers in the upcoming stages. This is using Node and Express, I believe. So yeah, you guys are gonna write your own servers. Then it's gonna make much more sense than now.
I've written a TCP/IP server in C. It's fun.
Yeah.
I bet it's do better.
I bet it's tons of pages.
Actually, it's not. It's about 3 files.
3 files. Yeah, you can just
one
write.
for the server, one for the actual client, and the other one just makes it actually run.
Yeah, but in Node.js, you can write in maybe 100 lines or so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Let me work on this, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I have a question.
I do too, after that one.
Okay. I've been having just a little problem with mine. Can I share my screen real quick?
Please do.
Yeah.
Just the app is defined but never used.
Okay, so this is it. This is what I'm getting right now. It's saying app is defined but never used. And when I remove this here, save it up, and I get this, it kind of takes out all the styling I did. And when I take it up and bring it back in, it gives me this warning, but then my styling is applied.
Anyways, that's just a warning, so you don't have to worry about it. But what you're trying to do is take the because your styling is app.css.
Oh, okay.
If you look at that, your styling is being applied to app.css. If you take that off, so your styling goes off as well.
Okay, so should I put it in index.css instead?
Let's see your file structure. Go back to the main file.
Main file?
The index.
Index.js. Oh, sorry. App.js.
Yeah.
This is it.
So app is defined, never used.
And this was in this file, index.js. They said this is defined but never used.
Yeah, because you were supposed to render app on line number 8, but you're writing your own code and you're rendering friends list, so you don't have to worry about it. It's just
and just to pinpoint that error message, see where it says compiled with warnings?
This one.
Underneath that in white, it is telling you that source index.js line 4. So that is telling you that it's that line, and try just commenting it out. And see if
yeah, that's what I did. But when I commented it out, it wasn't really. It took away all the styling I did. And I was wondering if it's much better to put it, somewhere else instead of where I put it.
Yeah, I mean, like Satish said, it's just a warning, so it's not a showstopper. But if you would indulge me, could you just comment out that line and then press save, and we'll see if that.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Let's take a look at that web page
All
again.
Right, so it's good now. I saved it, and now this is what it looks like. But
maybe write a styling file for index.js itself.
Sorry, you mean styling?
You see the index.css?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. So you, yeah, maybe make changes here so that you can see your
Okay, so let me
style.
just take it from here. I'll just remove it for a second. And I'm gonna put it in here. Okay.
Looking good so
All
far. Hey.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Nice. You got the form going.
Yes.
Love it.
But it has to work. So thank you so much so far.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. And this is Dixie, right?
Yes, Dixie.
Awesome. Thank you. Great question.
It's gonna make much more sense when you guys, write the server by yourself. You just, you guys are figuring out, how to write it to the server. So it's just the starting.
Yeah. Thank you.
And someone else had a question.
Oh, me.
I mean, someone else had a question. What's up, Eileen? I need the problem, but need a bit of help fixing it. You want to share up your screen?
Sure. And this is my full message.
Okay, so before we do anything, what is this telling us?
Apparently my GAT didn't work.
Well, even more mundanely than that is that in source app.js on line 37, Axios is not undefined. So when I get error messages like this, the first thing I do is go to that file, look at that line, and then start troubleshooting from there. So on 37, you've got const data equals axios.get blah, 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 blah. Up at the top of that file, did you declare Axios as a variable?
Ooh, I don't think I did. Hang on. I probably needed to. I forgot to do this in line, actually.
And just before we even do anything else, just do you feel like you've got a good handle? React is very modular, but just what these import statements are doing and how they're used. This is somewhat related to Dixie's problem of just, the error message was that something she imported wasn't being used. So do you get that how the import statement is saying import something, and then you're saying Axios is going to be the name of a variable that I'm going to use to import stuff from the Axios library that should be in my node modules folder. Does that flow make sense so that then Axios is able to bring all of the methods and tools from Axios so that you can use them in this script?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To some degree, it's not full. I don't fully understand
it. Okay. It'll, like Satish said, you'll be working with this stuff for a while, and the more you keep banging at it, the more sense it will make.
Now I have no idea what it means.
Well, you notice when you do the create React app or npmi, you get a node modules folder, and that thing is full of sometimes tens of thousands of other files and folders.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of there basically represents hundreds and thousands of hours of other programmers dedicating their time to making tools so that you don't have to. And for the contrived examples we give you in class, often it's overkill. You never use them. But again, if you're going to build something that's going to scale up to hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of daily users, React is the tool set that you want for that. So it's a little weird, but that's kind of just what's going on with that import statement. And so since you hadn't imported Axios, when the script got compiled, it came across line 37. It was like, I don't know what to do with AXIOS. So now we've told it what to do. So why is it still...
Should I just stop this and restart it?
Well, in the console on the right, yeah, I'm wondering why it's not hot loading it. Did you save it? Did you escape : W on Vim?
Yes.
Then yeah, I would just Control C to kill it in the other one and start npm start again.
Yeah, sometimes it has weird things in which you have to restart the actual npm, otherwise it doesn't work. But if this doesn't work, then it's probably a logic issue, is my guess.
Love your cat wallpaper, by the way.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on now.
So looks like it's still telling us the same thing. Are you sure you saved that file in Vim?
Yeah.
Do you have Axios installed?
Oh, that's a very good question. Yeah, did you npm I Axios in the project folder of friends?
No. It wasn't on the README.
I mean, I guess README expected that you already had it while you did the mini sprint, maybe.
Yep.
You did do the mini sprint, right?
Yes, it worked without it though.
Oh, yeah, I probably didn't. I think Luis asked people not to install it globally, or just that they only needed to do it locally. But yeah, if you want to Control C out of the npm start in the console on the right.
Oh, it was in the package.json. So when you did npm install, it should have installed itself.
It is in the package.json?
Yeah, one of the students said that.
When I do create React app, Axios does not come up in boilerplate. In the package.json on the parent level, I don't see it in there either.
It's not in Axios.
So yeah, you can quit out of Vim there, and you're in Friends. So yeah, you should be able to just npm I Axios, and that will add it to your package.json file, and it will install the Axios library in your node modules folder.
Yeah, but I was wondering if my logic is actually the problem as well.
We'll get there. Baby steps to victory. Who's in the package? Oh, Ronnie, I see what you're saying. The mini project that you downloaded already had Axios in the package.json. Gotcha.
Probably. Makes sense.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Add it. Gotcha. Thanks for that, Ronnie. Ronnie gets a gold star for the day. Somebody calling my name?
Yeah, Patrick, it's Tony. What's going on?
Hey.
Oh,
I look back in my file. I don't see a friends list file anywhere. Or I see an app.js, but I don't see a friends list extended.
Okay. Once Eileen gets Axios installed, let's have you share your screen.
Okay.
If you want, I can just let him do his own thing while this thing installs, and then you can
You're
go
good
back.
to go? Okay. Sure, yeah. Tony, why don't you share up your screen and we'll take a look at what you got going on.
so the Q&A section, is it supposed to go on to what time?
It's an hour. I mean, Luis sometimes goes longer, but yeah, I think.
Oh, cool. I mean, I'm just
wrap it up.
I'm
short.
just asking because some others want to work on their own projects. Like, you guys can stay if you have questions and see all the debugging. If not, you can just go on and start working on your own stuff.
Patrick, Tony is looking for a file, friends.js, but it won't be there because it's something we have to create.
Yes.
I was wondering why it wasn't. But he gives us the code on the guided demo, no?
Yes, you can just copy it over.
Okay. So he wants us to copy over the code, basically. And how about do we need the notes MD or no?
The notes MD?
I saw another file instance that notes MD, but I didn't see that.
Well, let's back up for just 1 second here. You want to click on the bottom left of your project tree where it says server.js.
Right.
I just want to make sure you're clear kind of on the overview that this file is what is getting served on localhost 5000, and it comes with this default list of friends.
Right.
And so that's set and ready to go. And what you want to work on now is in the friends folder. Have you done a create React app friends?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yeah,
I have a friend.
working with the React components. But yeah, the if you've got Axios installed and you did create React app, then you should have all the bits of the puzzle, and then you can just start.
What am I looking for right now?
I mean, I think you've got everything. And like Eileen said, you know, if you want to use the code from the mini project and start putting that into the components in this project, that's one way to start building up the functionality.
Okay, so like basically the friends list thing that I should be copying over.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the mini to compare them. Sorry, I've got a bunch of stuff open. I didn't actually bring in what. Yeah, I think Luis put it in source components in his client for the mini. And that would be one way. It uses a component did mount to grab stuff from friends as well, if you've got that.
Okay. All right, I'll figure it out, I guess.
Well, just to be clear, the instructions say to do two things. It's if you look at the README, it says on fourth bullet, create a component to display the list of friends coming from the server, and then the fifth bullet is add a form to gather information. But you can create, those would be two different components. So you need to add a component to display, and then you need to add a component to gather information and post it. And I think those are just the two things that you need to do for the main.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go look. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And also just, let's see, we've still got about 20 people with us for the rest of the day. Definitely encourage you guys to work in pairs or whatever groups that you were in. I hope that is going well for you. But I would like to wrap up this meeting. It's been about an hour. I will post this video. I hope it's useful to someone. So let me just check Slack, see if there are any questions. Igor, yes, thank you. Yes, you're right. That was not in the instructions. Aaron, it looks like
one last question.
answered your question. Yeah, what's up, Eileen?
I got mine to render, but it looks a little funky. So I'm wondering if I did something weird.
Of course you did.
Okay, I mean, I should say weirder than usual.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, just there's no styling. It's center justified, just a list of friends. The Lambda friends is a little offset, it looks like, but you know, have you tried using the inspector to see what the or you know what the div boxes are and why they're lined up like that?
Actually, I think I know why. I think it's because of what I did here.
Oh, right. Ronnie makes a good point that it might be offset because of the list item dots.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
And where is the text coming from that says friends list? Sorry, my... oh, Lambda friends there. Yeah. Div... so that's its own.
Yeah, a lot of this is just from the previous project.
Okay, I mean, when I'm trying to troubleshoot HTML layout stuff like this, one of my first things that I do is I try and go through and clean up the indenting. A fast way to do that, you could grab that all that HTML inside the render return, and you could toss it into CodePen. In their HTML box, they have a tidy and cleanup thing that will, work out all of the indentations for you. That can be a fast way to do it. Sometimes that just helps me to troubleshoot why things might be lining up weird.
Okay, well, that's not really my biggest issue. I think I just need to create my form now.
Yeah, you've got much bigger issues, Eileen. But do notice on the left side there, those bullet points. There is a way to get rid of those if you don't like those bullet points showing up. You are not beholden to those. You can also try an ordered list if you prefer that. But yeah, it looks like you are well on your way. Go make the form and see if you can figure out how to get.
I'm gonna go make the form and then basically go from there.
Awesome. Just gonna quickly review stuff. Allah, great! I'm so glad to hear that peer coding has been a good experience for you. I found that it was a huge help just to keep me motivated, focused, and also to stay positive. Especially if I get frustrated, you've got somebody to talk to instead of just, your desk. So I'm really glad to hear that. Explaining what the code step lead to better understanding the Miro and the folder hierarchy. Awesome. That's what I love to hear. Aaron, looks like you're good. Do we need to commit right now or at 5? I'm always going to urge you to commit often. When you commit, to push it up to your GitHub repository. And if you haven't already, make a pull request from your GitHub repository to Lambda School. So if you want to go ahead and do that now, I think that would be a great time. If we can't get you code review tonight, we will try tomorrow before you start submitting new pull requests. I do not know what Blues has in store, but that is an excellent question. Commit often. And let's see what else is going on.
Thanks, Patrick.
You are very welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting. Satish, Wesley, thank you very much for your help. Really appreciate you guys being here. And again, we'll be on Slack and in the help channels.